Hey, right here from the Rogers TV studios in Nanaimo. Welcome to episode number 175 of the show. Again, broadcasting from Nanaimo and the unceded territories of the Snuneymuxw, Snuneymuxw, and Snuneymuxw. Happy to be here highlighting people, places, and things going on in central Vancouver Island. All right, our music guest on today's show, making a return visit to the program, Nanaimo hip-hop artist Alexander Reyes. And really not just a musician, but a world traveler who left music after a terrible accident, but music found him again and brought him back in. We're going to hear more about his story and how he's using his music to better many communities. Also on today's program, we're going to try to ignore this late blast of February weather, and we're thinking about gardening in particular, find out more about the Nanaimo Food Shares Community Garden Project. Now, Halley's Comet comes around about once every 75 years, but Halley's Comics, well, they're working right here in Nanaimo right now on a brand new TV pilot, and filmmaker Matt Haley is here to talk about that, a new comedy series called Toxic Mascolinity. Also, this time of year, things do get a little bit cold, a little bit gray, a little bit sour, can often be tough on folks. So we're very happy to be chatting with the Vancouver Island Crisis Society about avenues for support, including the Canada 988 program. And we're going to start off today's show by highlighting a charity golf tournament that will get you shouting, "Ep, ep, hooray!" Ep, ep, hooray, and that will actually make a lot more sense when you meet our first guest here. So anyways, we gotta love golfers, I tell you. They never throw away their old socks when they get a hole in one. They never throw away their old socks. Anyways, don't get teed off, just kick back in a fairway with a golfer's favorite meal, which is a sand wedge and a side of green salad. Hey, check it out, it's episode number 175 of the show on Rogers TV.
Thanks, Matt. I'm with me today. We have Braden Epp, who is sponsoring and has been putting on charity golf classics for the MS Canada group, and it's called Team Epp MS Classic, and it's to support multiple sclerosis, which is classified as an autoimmune disease of the central nervous system, and many people, and me included, were probably the first to sort of identify it as a disease that affects older people. But my guest today was diagnosed in 2021. And Braden, can you tell me a little bit about your history and what sort of brought you to start to raise funds for the MS Society?
Yeah, really, when I was diagnosed with MS, it was obviously a shock to me. I was always an athletic guy and loved playing sports and just being active. So when I got the tough news of the diagnosis, I kind of took it one way, and I thought, what's the better way to do some fundraising? So kind of flipped the switch right away and thought, I love golf, so let's start a golf tournament. And so I've had 2 golf tournaments in Prince George, and now that I live here in Nanaimo, I thought, let's do one here. So looking for golfers and sponsors.
And with your diagnosis, you haven't slowed down any. You were at that time an official. You played in the BC Hockey League in Prince George, and you've also continued your education at VIU, and you're coaching minor hockey kids. So it hasn't changed your life to a great extent. You're still very, very active.
Yeah, and I try and be as active as I can. Obviously, there's some tougher days with the disease, but the way I see it, I just keep moving until I can't anymore. So got to keep on going.
Tell me a little bit about your fundraising. You've done 2 fundraisers in Prince George. You just told me that you've been in the top 3 fundraisers in all of Canada for the MS Society.
Yeah, so with the first tournament in Prince George, it was obviously a huge success. We raised over $25,000 the first year. So that's really when I knew it's going to be a big hit. So obviously ran it back for the second year, and same thing, we're just under 25,000. So looking forward to this year, coming down to new people on the island and really getting my roots spread out on the island here. So really excited.
And this is the first island edition. And where is that going to be held?
At the Fairwinds Golf Course in Nanaimo Bay.
Okay, so you're cooperating with the people at Fairwinds. What's the nature of the sort of the fundraiser? Is it what kind of golf tournament is it?
It's a 4-person scramble, so we're not really worried about all kind of skill levels. It's just come out here and have fun and raise money for a good cause. So 4-person, doesn't matter your skill level, come out and whack the ball around.
Okay. And one of the things you're looking for is not only people to compete and bring teams in, but you're looking for sponsors for this event because it's brand new for the island, and you're bringing this event that was in Prince George area with all your sponsors and moving it to Vancouver Island.
Yeah, so that's the hardest thing is coming down here and not having the connections out here on the island. So all the money that comes in from sponsors goes straight towards MS Canada, towards research and other good things with that disease. So.
Okay. Can you tell us, maybe people don't know a lot about multiple sclerosis and how it's affected Canadians. What's been sort of the history of it?
Yeah, like you said earlier, it's an autoimmune disease. So the funny thing about MS is every person is different. Not one case is the same. So I'm not the same as someone else. And it's really a day-to-day basis for me and everyone else. It's the good days and the bad days. And the way I see it, I just got to stay positive and keep putting one step forward every day. So.
Good. So you have a personal connection. You were working, and I think it's on the screen, but can you tell us a bit where people can get more details on how they can be a sponsor, how they can sign up to compete in this golf classic?
I have a Facebook page. It's Team EP Charity Golf Classic. It's on Facebook there. You can follow my page. We keep it updated with registration forms, sponsorship packages, and my email is on there as well, so you can email me to get more information. And I'm just happy to talk to people that want to help out with the cause.
Good. With this and your relationship with the MS Society, MS Canada, Multiple Sclerosis Canada, can you tell me a little bit about how they've been in support for your activity and your fundraiser?
They've been a great help with me, working together. Obviously, I have a pretty big public figure in Prince George, and now bring it down to the island, hoping to grow my name down here and obviously raise as much awareness for this disease as we can. So working with MS Canada, partnershiping with the golf tournament, it's going to hopefully raise a lot of awareness and then some money as well.
Good. From people looking at you on screen, you're a young adult, and it's certainly something that you're dealing with right now, but it affects this disease, this autoimmune disease, affects people of all ages.
Yeah, you can be diagnosed at any age. Unfortunately, I was diagnosed at a younger age, but this gives me more time to fight it and really work against it. So obviously there's no cure yet for MS, but that's why I'm doing all this research and fundraising to hopefully find a cure one day.
And certainly find treatments that help people adapt and live their life as normally as possible.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay. You've got a great contact, and I know you've been working with young men in our system with minor hockey, but you're also a teacher, and you've been working with them as being out through VIU with classes around this school district. How's been the response from the people you've seen? And probably they cross over both sides. Your hockey players are also some of the students that you see in classrooms.
Yeah, it's obviously a fun experience to be a teacher and see these young kids develop either on the ice or in the classroom. It's kind of cool to see both lenses of the students and the athletes, so I quite enjoy it. Good.
And obviously, you as a role model for what you're doing and what you're fundraising for is a good situation where you lead by example.
Yeah, absolutely. You never know what someone's going through. So for me, obviously, it's an invisible disease. So me taking one step at a time, and when people do realize that this disease is bigger than what it looks like, then I can really be a leader out there.
Wonderful. Once again, let's get those contacts out, because I think they're on the screen in the graphics, but you mentioned the Facebook site, and emails to reach you the contact information is on the Facebook site. The most up-to-date information will be on your Facebook page of Team EP MS Charity Golf Classic. So it's certainly an event that we haven't had in this area. I think as we have a vast array of people on the island now coming from various places, it's a great opportunity to be involved and help our community and help people who are dealing with this disease on a daily basis. Braden, thank you for coming out. I think it's a great project, and I wish you all the luck in the world to be able to move forward with this and maybe have many more charity golf classics in the coming years. I don't think there's any further information, so I'll start to wrap it up. But I just want to again mention that, again, this MS Charity Golf Classic, if you've been involved with this autoimmune disease, certainly it's something you should step forward on. If you haven't, it's a great project. We have many, many fundraisers around the island, and this is one where I think we can all jump on board and help our own community and help people in our own community. Thank you for coming, Braden.
Thanks, Brian.
I'm going to throw it over to our guest, Alexander Reyes, who is going to do a number called My Time Is Now.
My time is now, cause I worked way too hard this year just to give up when the times get hard. I'd rather keep going cause I came this far. My time is now. I just stand tall when I'm raising that bar. My rims in the fog with a thought so dark. They don't know the pain that I felt in my heart. My time is now. Everybody knows my time is now, cause I worked way too hard this year just to give up when the times get hard. I just get up when I raise that bar, trying to stay focused, stuck in my thoughts. I just keep going when I really feel lost. When the path's unclear, I just follow my heart. My time is now. No room for the doubts, no time for regrets. Keep pushing forward, no limits to set. I work for this moment, it's my time to seize it. I've been a breadwinner since I was a teen. I provided for family by living my dreams. Smile through struggles is not what it seems. Got myself up when accepting defeat. I'm ready now to make my mark. Hustling in size, perfecting my art. Sharpen my skills, pay the price in sweat. Now it's my time, I can't have no regrets. I never will fall, will I take every step. Stumbled and stumbled, but never give in. Room for the losses, I'm ready for wins. And my time is now, so I'm bringing some friends. My time is now. Cause I worked way too hard this year just to give up when the times get hard. I'd rather keep going cause I came this far. My time is now. I just stand tall when I'm raising that bar. My brain was in the fog with a thought so dark. They don't know the pain that I felt in my heart. My time is now. Everybody knows my time is now. Cause I worked way too hard this year just to give up when the times get hard. I just get up when I raise that bar, trying to stay focused, stuck in my thoughts. I just keep going when I really feel lost. When the path's unclear, I just follow my heart. My time is now.
And that was Alexander Reyes with His Time Is Now. It's great to see the hip-hop scene growing in Nanaimo, and I'm here with my friend Jenny Wharton to talk about what else might be growing in Nanaimo this spring and summer. Hi, Jenny.
Hey, Jeremy, thanks for having me.
Jenny, you came to us from Nanaimo Food Share. What do you do there?
I am the education coordinator, so I run all of the food growing and cooking programs.
I understand that you have a community garden starting last year, but it's growing this year.
Yeah, actually, we've been there for a number of years, and the city purchased the land in 2019 and then signed a lease with us to grow on 0.7 of an acre. And so, yeah, we're busy there. We're constantly doing lots of different programs and inviting many different people to come to the farm.
Let's talk more about the farm. Where's the farm located?
Yeah, it's at 945 Park Avenue, so it's right across the street from Park Ave Elementary. And it's a 5-acre plot. It has a wetland running through it, and it's a beautiful heritage house, and then our growing space.
Tell me a little bit more about the farm. How would I get involved in that? How does this interact with the community?
Yeah, so we do have an open farm day on Fridays. We just started last week. So you can come anytime from 10 to 2 any Friday and come and help us grow food, learn about how to grow food, and take home some harvest. And you can get involved through your kids' school programs. You can talk about field trips with them, or we have lots of spring break and summer camps that are going on there, or cooking workshops.
That is a huge amount of stuff.
Yeah.
I think we're all familiar with the good work that Nanaimo Food Share does around things like the good food boxes and stuff. Who is this opportunity for? You mentioned that you might be looking for students in schools particularly.
Farming! Rocks! Farming! Rocks! So we want to invite every class in the school district to come to the farm just like they do go to the fish hatchery or to the pumpkin patch, but to come into an urban farm space and learn how to grow food.
And they get to learn some of those lessons from you.
That's correct, yeah.
I don't know any school that's not looking for a free field trip. So a little bit more about if I am not a farmer and I want to come on Friday from 10 to 2, is that okay if I don't know a lot about growing?
Yes, We have 2 education facilitators at the farm. So we're there to bounce ideas off, to ask questions, for you to learn how to do this. So it's, fully facilitated.
So what if I am a talented farmer and I want to get a little bit more involved? Is there a way for me to choose some of the plants or?
Yeah, we really want to invite more groups and organizations to come. We have 2 organizations right now that have signed up for some rows at the farm, and we want to invite as many different groups and organizations in the community to come. Yeah.
And again, some organizations might be a little nervous because they might feel like, oh, this is so mysterious. So do they have to come up with compost and fertilize?
No, we have wonderful partnerships with multiple different companies within the community. Cinnabar Valley Farms, they donate all the compost and bark mulch. So we regularly have all of those things available for all of the organizations to use.
So if I got involved and I needed to go on vacation for 2 weeks in the summer, how would that work? Would my plants just die?
Well, no, we have a wonderful irrigation setup that we just installed last year. So yeah, it's fully watered, and we also enjoy utilizing each other's abilities. So if you're going away, we can always take care of your space, and I'm sure it could work around the other way as well.
So you've already got compost, you've already got dirt, and you've got irrigation. We just need some folks that are excited about this.
That's right.
That is great. If an organization wanted to reach out to you, I think we are going to put your email on the screen, or could they go to the Nanaimo Food Share website?
Yep.
Is that nanaimofoodsshare.ca?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
As an educator, you must be really passionate about food and about food security and stuff. When did you join Nanaimo Food Share?
Oh, I think I've been there for about 6 or 7 years. I started out volunteering, and then I just worked my way up doing garden facilitation at the school gardens. And then, now I'm running all the education programs. So it's kind of a dream job.
Can you tell me again about a couple of those education programs? I think I got a little distracted by the garden. It's just such an exciting idea. I didn't know that we had something that was community accessible in Nanaimo like that. And again, just for anybody to come, right?
Yes, definitely. We run also school garden programs at the School District 68 and 69. We do the Let's Eat programs that we're in partnership with the City of Nanaimo, and you sign up and you come cooking for 2 hours at the Beban and Bowen kitchens, and that's open for all kids. We do like kits that we send home with classrooms of food, so they can take home the kit and cook it at home and then watch a YouTube video of another kid cooking the same recipe, and then they come home and it's all connected with science 3 to 5 curricular connections. So it's a great program, the Kids Eat Cooking program.
So you really are going full farm to table. You're going to teach me how to grow food, you're going to help me grow it, and then you'd be willing to also teach me how to cook it.
Yeah.
It sounds like you've dealt with people like me before, because I do not have a green thumb.
Well, last year, our entire farm was planted by the kids of School District 68. So if they can do it, you can do it.
I'm not 100% sure about that. You haven't seen what the plants at my house look like. Fortunately, I'm colorblind, so I just don't notice. I think it's great that youth are coming and that you're having a really good impact with this. My burning question here is, what happens to all the food that you grow?
Yeah, so all the food that we grow is for all of our different community programs. So we've donated some of it to our Good Food Box program. We run all the spring break and summer camps, so we harvest the food and then cook the food with the kids at the farm in our outdoor kitchen. We do it for our Lunch Munch program and for our Monday lunch at St. Paul's. So we use all of the ingredients from the farm in our programming.
So this food goes full circle right back to the community, the folks that are growing it and folks that need it in the community.
That's right, yeah.
I don't think anybody could feel bad about that. I've got one more question for you before we wrap up. What's your favorite vegetable to grow?
Oh, I knew you were going to ask me that. I think a beet, probably, because they're just so delicious, and you can roast them, and you can grate them, and you can paint with them. They're just so earthy and grounded, and
So you're an advocate for beets?
I think so.
Excellent. I'm a Brussels sprout man myself, but you know, we're gonna pass it over to Matt and we're gonna see a little bit more of Alexander Reyes, but thanks so much for coming. We appreciate you, Jenny, and good luck this year. Oh, I'm so sorry, please do.
Sorry, I just wanted to mention the CD Sunday, this Sunday on March 3rd from 10 to 2.
You got it, folks. March 1st, CD Sunday from 10 to 2. Thanks, Jenny. We're gonna pass it over to you, Matt.
Thanks very much, Jeremy and Jenny. I do have to say, Jenny, I'm also on Team Beat, that's for sure. And Jeremy, I know he says he doesn't have a green thumb, but I have it on a good account. He actually is a great gardener, because someone said he's outstanding in his field. So, Jeremy's outstanding in his field. Okay, good stuff. All right, well, big ups again to Nanaimo Food Share, the kind of folks who know how to thrive in a seedy neighborhood. So we'll just sprout it out loud for Nanaimo Food Share. Otherwise, anyhow, moving on here. Time to meet our musical guest now, a Nanaimo-based hip-hop artist who is making a big leap back into music recently, making good tunes, and also doing some incredible work in the community. Welcome back to the show, Alexander Reyes.
Thank you very much. I haven't seen you guys for about 10 years.
2015.
Yes.
It's so good to have you back.
Yes, and it's so good to be back in the community and working with others.
Not only back in the community, but you've been on television quite a bit recently, doing research for this. I've seen you on breakfast television in Toronto. I think you said you just got back from that.
Yeah, I just got interviewed by Devo on breakfast television, and then I flew back here to Nanaimo because I really wanted to speak to my own community about what I'm doing abroad. I think that's the best way to connect with our community.
Yeah, absolutely. And so before we get into the music, I want to talk a bit about that, exactly about your story, about why you're connecting music and why you are helping out communities. So the story can't be told without pointing out that you took a big break from music.
Yeah, that's true.
So what was the story behind that?
Well, I was in a car accident, and my car accident actually caused a hiatus for my music career for about 4 years. I wasn't able to get back to what I love to doing. You know that I love jumping on stage and working in communities, working with the youth, working with adults alike, and making a change, but I couldn't do that laying in bed. So, you know, I focused on my rehabilitation, and now I'm back, even stronger than before.
Nice. Exactly. Well, again, as mentioned, we've seen you a lot in the media, more new music. We'll hear more of that a bit later on. But about your music, a lot of the lyrics do have a lot of talk about sort of social justice. Just like Braden, the golfer we talked with earlier, I mean, he's talked about, you know, within MS, he's getting up every day, moving forward, making things happen. Those sort of themes are coming out a lot in your tunes as well.
It's very true. And I would like to say that I just came back from a Canada-wide tour, and on this tour I challenged my fans to donate their used clothing to a local shelter. Maybe it will help somebody who's experiencing homelessness. I like to say it's called experiencing homelessness because it's not forever, it's just temporary. That's what I wanted to do before, and that's what I'm doing now.
And obviously homelessness, if it's not on the front of our minds, it should be on the front of our minds across this country and many other countries. So obviously highlighting that and ways to approach that and help out.
Yes, and just like I said, it's only temporary. People go through very hard times, but as a neighbor, you need to be there to support your friend, your family. You know, you're a brother, you're a son, and the same is with me. So all we have to do is help our neighbor.
Now, I know also you've done a lot of world traveling. I've been to a number of different countries, and I'm wondering if that travel and the work you've done in those trips, tell us about that and how that sort of formed your opinions and your drive to help out back here in Canada.
Yes, before my car accident, when I had a thriving career, I traveled the world. I went to places like Africa, places like Nicaragua, and I left sustainable food sources in these communities. I decided when I got back onto my music here in Canada, I wanted to do the exact same thing. So that's why you see me traveling around Canada, donating used clothing, and trying to motivate the youth to start their own initiatives in their communities.
One of the most poignant things I heard from one of your other interviews was about painting over bullet holes in walls, so remnants of warfare, and you're like, all right, how can we make something like that turn into something beautiful?
Exactly, and you know, even hip-hop gets a bad rap. Sometimes hip-hop is not looked at in the best light, and I will tell you something, all you have to do is turn a negative thing into a positive thing. So with my music, I like to focus on positive endeavors.
Exactly, yeah. And now we're going to talk a little bit later on in the show. We will hear the song All Goods. And the reason I want to bring up, even though we're not going to hear it right now, is that's a collaboration with with Mad Child, who a lot of folks might know from Swollen Members. So how did that collaboration come together?
Me and Mad Child decided that we wanted to get together and create a song that people would be able to relate to. All Good is a song about striving to do better, striving to be a change in your own life and the change in others. We wanted to make sure that we did a positive thing across Canada in the communities, and this is not just a song, this is a movement. This song is a community that says, hey, look, if you need help, I'm here, brother.
Nice. And I'll let folks know too, you can also go on to Reyes Raps on YouTube, also Spotify, some other places we'll talk about a bit later on. Again, we're going to hear that song later in the program, but the song coming up next is called Money in the Bank. So tell us about this one.
Money in the Bank is all about motivating yourself. It's about good affirmations, looking at yourself in the mirror and saying, look, I can do this, no matter what your goals is. Sometimes your goal could be to make some more money, or it could be to make your family happier. And sir, all you have to do is just focus.
I love it. Motivation is kind of turning into a bit of the theme here of this program, and again, coming through your music as well. So, all right, so we're going to shout back over to the folks over on the sound. We'll get the music getting ready to go, and I'll turn the mic back over. Alexander Reyes, Money in the Bank here on the show.
Yeah. Hey. Whoa. Whoa. All you gotta do is focus and never give up. Be the shining light that you wanna see. Listen. I get money, then I put it in the bank, watch me spend it, then watch these haters face, watch they face. I get money, nothing less than what you think. I get money, then I put it in the bank. I get money, then I put it in the bank, watch me spend it, then watch these haters face, watch they face. I get money, nothing less than what you think. I get money, hey. I put it in the bank. Dedication when I said I make it, I wasn't making a joke. Went from eating ramen way at the bottom, that's what you do when you broke. No family problems, the money seldom, I take my time at the bank. They think I'm selling drugs, but I ain't, I'm just young, color with cake. 100,000 at 22, so I do whatever I feel. I went broke once, then bounced back to my haters all in they fields. Got a game plan, I'm the businessman, so I'm closing all of my deals. I don't leave money on the table, always helping people ungrateful. Like, I need a change, I need to count on my commas and get my new money up, ayy. I need a fame, I need to focus on what really matters, important stuff, ayy. I need a pain, learning to grow, I've been embracing the change. I was still drinking and popping these pills, my mom was in trouble with nothing to gain. I get money, then I put it in the bank, watch me spend it, then watch these haters face, watch they face. I get money, nothing less than what you think. I get money, then I put it in the bank. I get money, then I put it in the bank, watch me spend it, then watch these haters face, watch they face. I get money, nothing less than what you think. I get money, then I put it in the bank. The hard work is what'll get me through, been through it all, so I paid my dues through all the times that I had to lose and got evicted, they made me move. Like I said, hard times are only temporary, never give up.
Great stuff there from Alexander Reyes. Loving the message to keep on going. That's Money in the Bank. We'll have some more music from Alexander a bit later on in the show. And a reminder, check out Reyes Raps on YouTube for more of his tunes and videos. All right, now let me give you a scenario. You know about the classic way of weighing life's decisions where you might have an angel or a devil on your shoulder? Well, what if instead your thoughts were influenced by a chain vaping dragon? That happens to be the loose plot behind a brand new TV pilot called Toxic Masculinity. And let's take a look at what that looks like.
Light.
Oh, yes, sorry.
Thanks.
So, what are you working on over there?
Just finishing up an oil change.
Curious.
What's curious? A woman can't work on her own car?
Not if she wants to get to places on time.
That's sexist.
If you say so.
You got something to say?
I'm just curious that you chose the profession of fixing cars after your dad died in an automobile accident.
My dad died overseas, and I don't work in the automotive profession. Are you trying to psychoanalyze me?
No. If I was, I would tell you having a dissociative disorder where an imaginary friend helps you work on an engine is an unconscious attempt to spend time with your deceased father.
You are nothing like my dad. Trust me, you aren't my first choice for help. Not a lot of options.
If you're so lonely, why don't you just try online dating?
I'm not lonely. Besides, I'd rather drop this car hood on my head than try online dating. Light! I'm not lonely.
Having dropped the car hood on my head myself a couple times, don't recommend. Anyhow, I'm here with the show creator and local filmmaker, Matt Haley. Matt, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me. It's fun to be here.
Well, all right, tell us what we just saw there.
That was a small clip that we put together for our crowdfunding campaign to shoot the pilot episode of Toxic Masculinity.
Perfect. All right. So I mentioned off the top, really quickly, loosely about what the story is about, but sort of break it down for us. What is toxic masculinity all about?
It's a mouthful. Yeah. So Toxic Masculinity is a story about Bree, and it follows her as she navigates her life, her family, her love life, alongside an imaginary friend who happens to be Kevin the Dragon, who's a croc-wearing, vape-smoking dragon.
Everyone needs a friend like that.
Yeah.
Why a dragon? Why not write it with just a non-imaginary friend?
Originally, I had it for. I wanted to go with a football type mascot. Something you would see at a college game, something like that. As the show progressed, we decided to switch it over to a onesie because we wanted the actor playing Kevin, Joni Giannolino. It was almost a crime to hide him behind a mask. So we put him in a onesie, and the rest kind of came from there.
You mentioned how the story idea has sort of developed a bit, and I know the original idea goes back a few years, doesn't it, to start bringing together?
Yes, it does. We originally started crowdfunding about 2 years ago, and we couldn't make our marks, so we had to take a bit of a hiatus. And then we came back this year again. And did it again, and were able to raise the funds that we needed, and move forward with the production, and it was a very successful shoot, and yeah.
Well, see, you say a very successful shoot, and this was not that long ago, I guess, the most recent work.
Yeah. So we shot a couple weeks ago. It was a 5-day shoot on Vancouver Island. We shot in a whole bunch of different locations on the island. We shot in Ladysmith and Nanaimo, and we shot in the Comox Valley. Is just we want to showcase as much of the island as we can. Really beautiful landscapes, just really lovely towns and buildings, old buildings, and we did the best we could with what we had, and we're hoping to do a little bit more of that in the future.
I do have to ask, because there's so many productions that say shoot in Vancouver, make it to New York or Chicago or whatever. Is this show actually based, in the show based on the island, or is it sort of an everywhere land where it could be anywhere?
It's an everywhere land, but I'm a Canadian filmmaker. I love my, I love my city, I love my country, and these are Canadian characters in a Canadian environment, but it could be any Canadian city you want. On the coast, probably.
There you go, yeah. I want to ask about comedy too, because, well, obviously people can tell by my ridiculous puns. I enjoy comedy, I love jokes. I think the world needs more of it, but for you as a filmmaker, why dive into comedy? So
comedy actually goes back to my original roots. When I was in high school, I actually started out as a stand-up comedian. And I was just writing books in my little notes and doing coffee shops and open mics. When I kind of gave that career up, it was a very easy transition into films and television, and I had all these jokes that I just can kind of write into character dialogue, and that's how it kind of evolved from there.
Nice. All right, so you've brought it to these crazy cast of characters, including, again, a vaping dragon. Just say a few words about maybe some of the cast and crew, someone you might want to give a shout out to.
Yeah, I will, definitely. So the lead character, Bree, is played by Stephanie Brossard. Brilliantly acted. She plays the straight person to our wacky, zany, imaginary friend, played by Joni Giannolino, who just encompasses just pure brilliance as our vape-smoking, toxic dragon. We also have Libby Giannolino as another imaginary character in the show, and then her real is what we're calling him. Her real companion is played by Curtis DeWar. Yeah, it was we had a great 5-day shoot. Everybody just brought their A game, and something's really special brewing.
Nice. All right, we see something's brewing. That means there's still a little ways to go. So, so what's next for this project, and then getting it out so people can see it?
Yeah, so I'm in the editing process right now. That's a time-consuming task, and once it's completed, I would love to show it on the channel here, and after that, it's getting out and pitching to networks and streamers to hopefully get the funding for the remaining 8 episodes of the season that we're currently writing.
Awesome. I do want to bring a couple things that you and I talked about off air, and one was about other projects, and one was you're also working on a feature film, correct?
Yes, yes. We finished shooting a feature-length film. It's more of a whodunit mystery. It was a lot of fun. We shot it over COVID very safely, and it should be coming out later this year.
So what's the name of that one, or is it a working title?
It's called The 12-Step Strangler. It's roughly about addiction and a serial killer targeting people in early stages of recovery.
Oh, wild. Yeah. Another thing too, we talked about off air, is I saw that you're a military veteran. And so I know a lot of folks watching this might be thinking, okay, so you have like the structure of the military and then transitioning to something that's very creative and some technical for filmmaking and art. How did you sort of bridge the transition between military to filmmaking?
It was actually quite easy, I was in leadership positions in the military, and it was very structured and very goal-oriented. And you do a lot of that in filmmaking, producing and directing. When you're on set, you got to be a on-set quarterback. You got to run the show. And I guess my drill sergeant voice came out on set a little bit, and it can be very helpful at times too, right?
Yeah, exactly. All right, perfect. All right, so we got to wrap up here, but right before we do, from one Matt to another, thank you so much for joining us. Please give a shout out to your production company as well.
My production company is Haley House Productions. You can find us on haleyhouseproductions.net. A lot of information on there and a lot of videos and everything you need.
Awesome. Matt, thank you so much for joining us. All the best to you and your crew as well on Toxic Masculinity. I look forward to seeing a ridiculous dragon on screen soon.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. Thanks for being here. All right, so next thing we're going to throw it over to Joanne, because laughter was one way to sort of make yourself feel a bit better, but sometimes you just need a little more support or other broad areas of support. Joanne's going to find out more about that right now. Over to you.
Well, thank you so much, Matt, and all the best to you, Matt Haley, for these great productions you've got underway. It sounds like it's the beginning of yet another adventure in film for you. All the best. And now turning it over to the person that I'm interviewing today, Neil Cutler. First of all, I want to mention that Neil and I are co-workers at the Vancouver Island Crisis Society. And Neil, tell us what your title is, because that'll sort of preface everything we're going to talk about today.
I'm the Community Awareness Coordinator for the
You're going
Crisis
to make us
Society.
aware.
Yes, exactly.
So where to begin? There's so many services offered by the Vancouver Island Crisis Society, including school programs and a vast array of community education workshops, most of which were developed by the Vancouver Island Crisis Society and its wonderful facilitators. But let's talk a bit more about the crisis line and other crisis-related services we offer, please.
That's where it started. So yeah, that's a great start. We began as the Vancouver Island Crisis Society. We operate the 24-hour, 7 days a week crisis line up and down the island, and we are there for bad days. We all have bad days. Mm-hmm. And I like to visualize a river, right? When a river is going, it doesn't start off quick. It starts off as a raindrop. It starts off as those little pieces of pressure that come to us. And it then turns into a stream sometimes, that pressure, that weight of the water. Sometimes there's rocks in the way. Mm-hmm. And what we like to view the crisis line as is not just about the going over the waterfall or stuck in the rapids, but just maybe we could support somebody who's starting to go a little faster, feeling like they're a little bit out of control or not doing well. Mm-hmm. So that's what the 24-hour our local crisis line is. But it's not just that. We also have what's brand new. This is the first year. It started November 30th last year, and it's 988. So what's that? Well, if you envision 911 and how popular that is, 988 is the new number that people across Canada can call. It's the National Suicide Crisis Helpline. And that's the only number you have to remember. And what we love is it's also textable. So for those that are not comfortable in reaching out by talking, because the reality is when you're feeling emotional, it's not always comfortable to be on a phone for some people. So we love that 988 is so easy to remember that no matter whatever state you are or somebody else that you may encounter, you never know when you're going to find maybe a friend that's not doing as well, or someone a coworker that's just having a rough time and you're not really sure about. 988 is there. You can call or text.
Absolutely. You can always reach out when you're concerned about another person.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
And in fact, Greg, if you look at the Vancouver Island Crisis Line, with the affiliation it has with mental health and substance use branches throughout the island, that's people often call the crisis line to be expressing concern about a third party, their child, their aging parent, etc. You want to tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, well, there's a couple things there. I love that. Thank you for sharing that. If you're worried about a third-party person or something, you can call or text to just get some education. Maybe something's just not really settled. And I was a crisis line worker myself. I was on the lines. And it was really a valuable thing when I got a call about somebody who's worried about somebody and like, hey, what should I do? That was there to help. And the other piece is, it's unusual, but for us on the island, the Vancouver Island Crisis Society has an incredibly supportive role to play with mental health. We have crisis teams that we could access. So if somebody's needing some extra mental health and they need beyond a phone call, they can reach out to us. We're the public access, and they can talk about these teams, and we can have those teams possibly get involved to get even more of a supportive environment for the caller or texter.
Exactly, and they're made up of medical professionals. So sometimes we serve as a liaison in the short term until the person can get to that psychiatric appointment or get to the hospital, that these team members can help out in the short term.
Yes, absolutely.
And to get back to 911, of which we are part of the network, my understanding is that we're a network, but calls that originate from our area attempt to be sent to our area, right?
Yes. So essentially, when you call or text 988, you're going to first be sent to our local, whatever is the local number, which is us for the island. And if for any reason, this is what I truly believe the power of this system, is that if for any reason we can't get to it, you're going to get sent to someone else that is capable, another proud partner somewhere in Canada that can respond to you right now.
Exactly. There's no dropped call with that kind of system, right? Everybody can reach out and know that somewhere along the way, someone is going to be able to take that call and practice their deep listening skills, right? So
yeah, that like deep listening thing, that is, we often get thought of as, oh, what's going to happen, right, when I call? Well, we just listen. We don't give advice. Because when you are experiencing stress, usually what you need is just to be heard. And that's what every person that volunteers or works for us, the caring qualities that they have is just unbelievable. When you call or text, know that there's a person that gets the stress that you're going through. It is incredible.
Beautiful work, beautifully said about work that requires empathy, and that people have an opportunity to go to the Crisis Society website to look about volunteering and employment opportunities for some really profound volunteering and some really profound paid work.
Yes, that's how I started.
Yeah.
I was a volunteer, and I've been here for 20 years now because of the value. It can change lives, and we support so many people. It's wonderful.
So to wrap up then, people can go visit our website. I'm sure it's scrolled by on this broadcast. Over your pink shirt.
Yes.
On Pink Shirt Day is when this is being taped. Yes. And people can go find out about what volunteering is like, what it's all about at the Crisis Society, and as well as look at employment opportunities. They're recurring in waves, these situations,
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, the number, if it's not already up, 1-888-494-3888, and our website is vicrisis.ca.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Neil. You spoke from the heart, and I'm very empathetic about that as well, because it's a work that keeps on giving, that gives as much as you give, right? So very thankful that you're able to share with us tonight what's been happening lately at the Vancouver Island Crisis Society. So thank you so much, and I'm going to now throw it back to Alexander Reyes, our rap star of the evening, who's going to show how good he is at rapping all good.
This is All Good by myself, Reyes, and Madchild. With over 1 million streams across platforms, 152,000 plays on YouTube, over 100,000 plays on Spotify. This is one of the next biggest Canadian hip-hop songs coming out of Nanaimo. Yeah. I've been through it all, I swear I'm good. And now my ex you trying to call, I'm doing good. Don't got this weight all on my shoulder, I'm doing good. Don't think my heart could get much colder, it probably could. Been through it all, I swear I'm good. Been through it all, I swear I'm good, Been through it all, and now my ex you trying to call, cause I'm doing good. Now that I learned my lesson, now that I'm counting blessings, now that I gotta keep taking away that money coming with investment, these haters coming with assessment, say you know me but you really don't, money problems, we lost the house, they kicked us out and they said they won't. Real. Depressed but I wouldn't show it, drank a lot, mixed rum and pop, woke up and I couldn't focus, hitting bottom, don't really notice, been through the struggle, it didn't break us, everybody got problems, homie, not everybody will face them. I remember those days, I remember the pain, I remember waking up still drunk, walking home in the rain, I remember looking at my phone and throwing that thing away, I remember getting finally sober, throwing away the pain. Oh, I swear I'm good, and now my ex you trying to call, I'm doing good. Don't got this weight all on my shoulder, I'm doing good. Don't think my heart could get much colder, it probably could. Been through it all, I swear I'm good. Been through it all, I swear I'm good, I'm doing good. And now my ex you trying to call, cause I'm doing good. Hey, listen. When you're going through a hard time, you just need to get up one more time. I know it's scary to chase your dreams, but you know what's even more scarier? Staying in the same place if it makes you miserable. Reyes.
All right, Alexander Reyes with the song All Good. Incredible performance. And thank you so much for being here. Before we wrap up, just a reminder, folks can actually check on Reyes Raps on YouTube. You can see also the Madchild verse on there as well. Share it with your friends. And
you can check out our music video on YouTube. If you want to follow me, guys, you can check me out at Reyes Raps on Instagram. And just understand one thing, we're a community. Let's keep this strong.
Absolutely. Great stuff, Alexander. Thanks so much for being here. And again, that's the theme of perseverance, a big part of today's program.
Exactly.
All right. Again, it's about time here to bring this episode of the show to the close, episode number 175, and it's also the final episode of the show. Yes, we're trying to wrap up this program now. I don't want to say too much, but I do want to be clear. Resources and support within community media are starting to dwindle. This show was another casualty of that. When the show first started, there was 10 or 11 staff members here, and now it's down to only one. Hard to pull this off, but so instead of my usual run of puns to close out, I feel a responsibility to say a few words here about the show. Back in 2011, actually, Shaw Management was going to turn this whole studio into a retail space to sell cell phones. So the TV crew asked their technician, Stas Bobkoff, hey, can you make a TV studio quickly? And within 2 weeks, he had done that, and with that, the show was born. So we have a lot of appreciation and thanks to Stas Bobkoff, still an incredible technician here now for Rogers. Thank you, Stas. Also, a little bit about the history of the show. Back when it started in 2011, the general run was sort of similar as today. We had interviews and highlights, music guests, demos, but back then it was fully live to air. So not live to tape, live to air. And it was a creation of our current director, Todd Jones, and the great Kate Bergen. She was the first main host, brought this together. Still probably the best TV presenter I've ever been able to work with. And I also give a shout out, not just to her, but other staffers such as Melissa Hall, Kelly Adam, Jocelyn Matwee, and Cam McLean, who did incredible work producing this program. I was lucky enough to join the show back at episode number 6. Extremely proud to be standing here at episode 175 more than 10 years later. Two things that really stick out for me about this program. The first is that the majority of what happens on set is done by volunteers, and that's why we've got a number of them standing behind me here. They don't get to be seen. They don't get to be maybe as appreciated as maybe they should be. Again, all the camera operators, the floor direction, on-screen graphics, script assisting, all the hosts you saw today, even production time done by volunteers. It's an incredible community. Some of the most wonderful people. We've had people all the way from cameraman Howie Hennessy, who's been here since the beginning, all the way to a couple folks who've been here for their very first time volunteering here at Rogers. So please, volunteers, give yourselves a big round of applause. Your work here tonight and every night is incredible. The second thing that sticks out to me about the program is it's all good. Just like the song said, it's all good. The nature of the stories we covered here. Hardworking people, artists, musicians, organizations who do so much good work, difficult work here in the region. And I think one of the reasons that I'm actually a really optimistic person is because this show gave me a front row seat to such amazing work being done here. Good people with talent and drive, dedication, empathy. Includes our guests and our volunteers. Think about the folks today, right? Young man's got MS, he's still raising funds, he's doing things. The Vancouver Island, again, crisis center, crisis line. Listening, doing what they have to do. So yes, there's struggles and horrible things happening here in Nanaimo, but you know what? If you look for ugly, you'll find it. And if you look for beauty, you'll find it. And for 13 years, that's what this program did, is it showed beauty and the good people of Nanaimo, Central Vancouver Island. So while this program is going off the air, unfortunately here, our last episode, I ask you out there, the viewers, please start supporting media and supporting people who do that, who tell the good stories, who show the beauty, whether it's an online source such as The Discourse, or even a number of the shows that will continue on the station, hosted by folks such as Dean Thulner, Liz Hines, Kathy Holmes, doing incredible work. And there are still opportunities for you to get involved with the station here with Rogers. Just reach out to Todd Jones, our director. We'll flash his information there on the screen. And yeah, highly recommend you get a part of producing community television. It's been one of the highlights of my life, and I hope for all the folks, again, standing behind me here as well. So, that's it. We're signing off. To the viewers, thanks so much for watching the show.